What's up, y'all? This is Holy Culture Radio, of course. We are live on YouTube as well. So if you want to join us on the YouTube channel, jump on over there because I got my very special guest and friend, Doc Watson, in the studio.
What up?
I'm going to be watching the YouTube as well. Okay, so let me tell you that it's not on exactly yet, but I'm sure it's coming in one momento. So join the YouTube channel and, be a part of this conversation because the brother in the studio with me today is special. If you don't know who Doc Watson is, well, first of all, let me give you some context. We started this a while ago. We called it The Inside View because we wanted to try to give everybody an inside view of what happens inside of ministry and Christian hip-hop. And so if you don't know me, I'm James Rousseau, a.k.a. Trig, CEO of Holy Culture. But this brother with me, a good friend of over 2 decades, is Doc Watson. And I like to call him, people call him the GOAT.
No.
Yes, in CHH. Yeah, brother, listen, you're the non-rapping GOAT. Lecrae's the rapping GOAT, you're the non-rapping GOAT, okay? And so the brother has a decade of running Reflection Music Group, also RMG Amplify. If you think of some of your favorite artists in the space, Derek Meyer, Cannon, Byron Juwan, DJ Standout, Danny Apicella, Roy Taj, Propaganda, D1, Thizzle, Brandon P, Curtis Hoppy, Ryan Lamar, Quentin Cobez, Sada K, and more, including recently Don Reddy and Tori Deshawn, etc. RMG and Doc have been a part of that process in a multitude of ways. So welcome to the show again, brother.
Man, thank you, bro. Thank you.
It's good to see you. Like we were saying earlier, it's been, last time we did one of these was 2019 or so.
Yeah, it was right before COVID.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah. Do I sound a little weird?
No, you sound okay.
All right, cool.
You sound weird to yourself?
Yeah, it might just be my headset.
It might be your headset. Yeah. Okay. Pull the mic a little closer, maybe, and see if that helps you.
Hello.
Yeah, you sound good. There you go. All right, cool.
But we got together. We did this once, and we were like, oh, we should do like different episodes.
Yes.
And all of that, and we knocked out like 4 in a day or something like that.
Gotcha.
5 in a day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Nashville.
It was right before COVID.
Yes.
That's kind of what.
That was fun.
COVID just messed everything up, man.
Yeah.
It really did.
There's so many pre and post pandemic comparisons you could make.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot. It really impacted creativity, music, consumption. Man, it's just so crazy. After about 4 years, that's 4 years, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Almost 4. Has it been almost 4? I guess 4 full years.
I mean, 19, so this is 24. We're wrapping up.
I feel like we're just now seeing what that did or how that impacted.
Yeah.
You know, because while we were in it, you know, there was all kinds of theories. Oh, the music's going to go up because people are bored. And it went the other way, actually.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's, So listen, y'all, we're going to talk a lot of things, ministry and industry. I'm going to pull on Doc Watson's expertise, his exposure, his wisdom. He's also beyond some of the things that you see. What you don't see is he's also active member, as am I now, on the GMA, Gospel Music Association, CHH committee.
Yeah.
Help put together the future legacy events. And so he's active in a lot of spaces behind the scenes, helping a lot of people reach their career and career goals, etc. I'm also going to be watching the YouTube channel. So if you're in the live chat and you've got a question for Doc, make them hard. Make them super duper hard. Also, you can hit us on the hotline. If you want to text me on the hotline, 1-833 Radio HC, send a text. I'll watch out for that as well.
I like challenging questions, though.
Yeah, he loves those. He loves those. You know, one of the things that is pre and post pandemic now, again, I just have to say this, bro, you're a father now.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fatherhood looks good on you. I love it.
Yeah, man. He's we were talking about it before. He's a blessing. You know, like he definitely something turned on in me when we got Micah. You know, I just something that wasn't on in my heart was turned on, you know. So it just kind of changed how I saw things.
Something that wasn't in your heart or turned on in your heart. That's good introspective.
Well, yeah, you know, I'm a veteran and
yeah.
So there's some things you go through that kind of you have to kind of kill.
Yes.
And I think for me, I remember praying one night. This was the first deployment. I remember praying on the plane, like, God, just take all these feelings out of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I didn't really have emotions for like the whole time, the first time, you know, and like nothing. Something explode.
You think you're more vulnerable now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, it pains me to see kids suffer, well, before and after.
Yes.
But
yes.
It's like different now. Like even if it's fake, I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Right. If there's like a movie and a kid is being hurt, I can't watch it. Yeah. I never really wanted to watch that kind of stuff, but you know, having a child just makes you see everything different. Man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, you know, speaking of pre and post pandemic, how would you describe what's different for artists from, 2019 and now? What would you say, man, this is so different as it relates to artists and how they manage their careers now?
Man, well, content is big now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we all know that. I've seen a lot of artists that were doing great before that that have had a hard time adjusting to the content demand.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think we're reaching an era now where it's not as like the robustness of it. I think can come down a bit because people aren't consuming that high now. We're out of they really want the live experience. I think some artists have kind of gotten so used to the content side that they've forgotten, like, yo, this is really about you being in front of the artist or the
being in front
fans.
of the audience. Yeah.
So like that's the real goal. This is just to help them get closer to you. So I think it's it's obviously shaped how we do things. I mean, everything's a lot more virtual now.
Right.
Things are moving a lot faster. AI, I think because of the pandemic, AI probably had a chance to be developed quicker. Because there was a need for it to be developed quicker during that time. So I think that it's definitely shifted how music's done.
How strong is that content demand? Like, how would you describe it?
Man, it's strong. I know the artists feel that because they got to do a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to do as much. I think you just need to you go shoot a music video, you would be out there all day.
Right.
Maybe 2 days, maybe 3 sometimes, right? To get different shots. And music videos aren't as much of a big deal anymore as they used to be. What really matters now is the shorts consumption.
The shorts, yeah.
So like it's almost the same type of work, but you cut it all up, and use different pieces. And I think what we're missing now is there's too much of the performance stuff and not enough like fan building. Like not enough like, yo, let me talk to you about something. And Instagram and TikTok have both told me that the lives matter more than the actual just content.
When you say the lives, meaning
like
going live matters more.
Yeah, because it's real time content.
Got it.
Right, and their algorithm just like supports it better. But that's when the fans get like a real connection.
Gotcha.
Right, if you're really talking to them, And I think sometimes you got to remember you're a fan. So look at what you like. Like if you have a choice between an artist dancing around or them talking about something with you, like which one are you gonna what are you gonna watch first?
How did the art, so I feel like there's generational artists, right? I feel like we have some who've been around for a while, which is a whole nother topic. I think we need to talk about foundational artists. And then we have kind of digital natives. They grew up with it in their hands. Do you see different reactions to the content demand?
From the artists that are used to the old way, I see them having a very hard time with it. I've seen some stuff that looks like a guy that's trying to make a video to make content, and their idea of what that looks like, right? I could tell they're not really looking around and searching too much. So, the trends matter with content. So basically, you could just go look at what's trending and what's going on. Now, mind you, I don't really post content. I just don't really like making content for myself. But and I 1,000% would never have the time. But for the artist, it's got to be built in. It's got to be healthy. It's got to take people on a journey. I think anything you're doing right now as an artist, even if you're just in a mixtape season, right? You all right?
No, I'm dying over here. I'm good.
I'm telling a lot of jokes.
No, I'm good.
No, Trig's dying. No, but I think when you look at like the journey now in music, it's still the same. The overall concept is still the same. Connect with the fan, right? Connect with the fan,
right?
And how do you do that? And so the content part has always been there. It just used to be the live show or going out at a radio station. It just was different. Now it's like you can literally be your own PR person all day long. So what you got to do is look at what are you trying to get people to get behind? What's the call to action? I mean, right? And where are you taking us? So if it's like, man, I'm just dropping mixtapes. Well, that's cool, but what season is that?
Yeah.
Are you in like a turn up?
Yeah.
We going crazy, or are you in like a mood, or is there a topic overall, arching topic that you're covering? Like, what got you to do this? Tell the story. Give us more. Like, that's what makes you really like artists, right, is the depth of the artist.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
you know, that's another story for another day. We could talk about this some other time, but you know, that yeah.
That's good to know though that the lives are even that much more important. I mean, because I think, well, it's good to know. I think because I'm try to be a student of this thing, but I think the man, for the average artist, I mean, some of the folklore was you need to be posting 2 to 3 times per day, as
Well,
it was.
They do want that still. You
Yeah.
know, it's just that's your performance stuff, right?
Right.
The 2 or 3 times is like a performer.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see it like the different people that do it. That you could tell they took like 3 or 4 shots. You know, and they just changed like,
chopped it up.
where they sat in the room, or
Yeah.
but
Or they had a day of recording. You could see that too, right? They
Yeah.
recorded a bunch of content.
And it
batch.
works.
Yeah, it works.
because all you're trying to do is get one of those to go,
Mhm.
right? That's the whole point of that. So at the end of the day, like you kind of still got to do that to
Yeah.
a certain degree,
Mhm.
especially if you're new
Yeah.
or you're in a release season. But ultimately, in there, you really want the whole point is to bring them to you, so that you can connect with them
Yeah.
on a different level. And I think what's happened is people have gotten so like focused on the views
Yeah.
that the message is not getting to the people as much as you would hope for, right? So that's why at times when there's a frustration with shows, because it's like the numbers don't always equate to the numbers in seats. Like
Yes.
people are following you for all different, you know, entry points. So the ultimate goal at the end of your funnel is whatever that goal is for you is down there, right? So,
Right.
but this is all what you're doing to get down there. So if it's like music, influence music, whatever, you got to figure out what your priority is, and then you got to build around that,
Right.
and then brand on that and take people on a journey. And that's what the artists that are really successful right now, that's what they do.
Yeah. Do you think
Yeah.
it's possible to be successful without doing the social piece? Do you have any examples of they ignored doing it and they still are
I mean,
killing
Kendrick.
it? Okay.
But,
All right.
but here's why though that works is
Yeah.
because he has everyone talking for him and PRs moving behind him,
Yes.
right? But upstart artists, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm sure there's always one,
Yeah.
right? There's always somebody.
I'm trying to think of someone in our space who I could say they're killing it. I never see him on social. I'm trying to think of someone who
I don't want to make anybody mad, but I can't think of anybody.
I can't think of anyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Bizzle takes breaks from social media.
Sure.
Maybe
He takes
Bizzle.
breaks.
Yeah, but I can't think of, you know.
He's an anomaly though, because
Yeah.
he rarely misses with a song. So it's hard to, I mean,
Yeah, he's just talented.
yeah,
man.
he's so talented. So I would hate anybody think they can ride that one, because he's just crazy
But that's
talented.
what I hate is like, I mean hate in a playful way.
Yeah.
But that's what I hate about when someone breaks the code,
Mm-hmm.
because what people don't realize is that's probably going to work one time.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's an anomaly. That's someone
Yeah.
that broke through. Maybe you could figure out what they did, but at the end of the day, what they really did,
Right.
in his case, is he built a fan base before all this
Correct.
that really likes to operate in the more physical anyway.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
that his base is just, they're just a very, it's a very hard base to grab,
Yeah.
and he's got it.
He's an anomaly of sorts. I don't want to dwell too much on Bizzle, but I do think it's important that, again, because a lot of times people see someone and think they can, they should have the same success, or they should
That's what I mean.
follow that pattern, right? And
Yeah.
if you think about what he's done, he has songs like Poppin', or what was the one before that? Maybe 2 songs before that, where he's able to pack in a substantive,
Yeah.
somewhat controversial, and then message with a Christian worldview, and it still have commercial appeal.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's talent, brother.
Yeah. It's a lot, it's a lot that's a challenge.
That's
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
talent.
I watched Derek go through that challenge.
Mhm.
Derek is very, he's inspired by different things. And so when he's putting music out, like
Yeah.
his albums,
Yeah.
usually if it's not just a single or something that he's doing, typically it's going a direction.
Yeah.
He gets this idea, he pulls it together. It's
Yeah.
it's amazing how he does it.
Yeah.
And then it's like a work of art being worked on as he shapes it out. I don't think he's ever like finished the project. I think he's got to points where he's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think he could always add music to his music. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're making music with depth, then you don't have to be as, I think, as like aggressive with socials. But I would say this, like, there's 1,000 ways to do it. There's a lot of opinions on how to do it.
Sure.
I'm just one version of that. But I think you got to do what you feel you can do. If you
Right.
can post once a day, post once a day.
Right.
Right. And just figure out how to pace your fans out based
Right.
on your content. But you know, the more performance you give them, I think the less it impacts. You feel me? Like
versus a live, more authentic in the day of the day of my life type.
Yeah, I think if it's like a performance, but it's like a performance.
Yeah.
Or like an idea, a concept, a video, that's dope, right?
Yeah.
Because you're giving people the live version of your song.
Yes.
That's always cool, and that can run forever. But ultimately, though, you want to give people like, man, why did you write that though?
Right.
Right? Like, what made you do that? And I'll be honest, all the artists that I ever fell in love with when I was coming up, they would get on these radio stations and talk about stuff.
Right.
You know, and if I could tell a quick story.
Sure.
Big Pun, when he dropped like the biggest record ever he dropped, that was during the era of the beef with Pac and Big and the East Coast, West Coast. By that time, Pac had died, Big was still alive, and he came to San Diego when I was in the military, but I was on leave, and I was riding around listening to the station, and he was East Coast, right? Like they were pretty serious about the East Coast, West Coast stuff back in the day.
Yes, they were,
especially out west. Like we were real serious about it. So him being there, connecting with the community, talking about his stories, made everyone like him.
Yep.
Regardless, because you got a chance to hear him.
Yes.
From his own mouth, and that's what makes the difference. No matter what, always. That's always going to be the key.
Yeah, that's good.
And live shows is still the #1 way to grow fans.
When we listen, let's jump into a song and then we come back. Let's come back on that live shows, because I do think there are varying opinions on it, and man, you have such good insight, and man, let's jump into how about Cannon?
Yeah,
load it up.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
Keep it locked, y'all.
Too many demons me do it, yeah. He bought me freedom. When bummed by my enemies creeping, yeah. Down in the person can't feed on. Ghost and blessing for me, boy. The enemies know I foresee them, yeah. It's the end of your year. You had me frozen in fear. If I'd have figured you out from beginning, I'd never let you in my ear, yeah. Yeah. I could fill up a cup from all the tears, yeah. You are so drained from me. Got stains put on my chain, took enough pain from me. Yeah.
Doc Wheezy, I like to call him. Doc Watson's in the house. Man, before we went to break, you said something that I think is important for people to hear.
Yeah.
That live events are still the most important.
Yeah, you can't beat that. I
Okay.
mean, I'm sure if you were to like talk to Dylan, John, and Clesso about the tour they were on, they'll tell you that that's what it's about, to get your ideas out in front of people and perform together. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like, I'm not a big show guy. I just never been big on shows.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law he went to every show. And ironically, my brother-in-law is black but loves country.
Yeah. Nice.
So, he goes to these shows. And I'm talking about before it was like it is now. Like 10 years ago.
Before Darius Rucker and them were like huge. Well, I guess
no, Darius was
they were huge then.
Yeah, but it was still not as common.
Yeah.
Right. Like now it's like become very common for it to be good for everybody.
Yes.
But it used to be, pretty much my folks like country.
Right.
So
are you white?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
For the record.
Of course I know you are.
No, but what's funny is I asked him, like, bro, why do you always go to these shows? He's like, man, and it stuck with me forever. He was like, it's the only time where I feel like I belong because everyone knows the music. And it just feels like not in like belong to life, but just belong part of that. Yeah. And he said like everyone's having fun, everyone's singing the songs. Yeah. And it's such a dope experience, And I was like, dang, that's true, And so, so for your fans, what they're getting from that is they get to be around other people that love your music and that know your songs. And think about it, when you're not super mega huge, right? Right. Like it's rare to find people that also like your music and have that in common. Right. So, in hip hop, that's a big part of hip hop. Like to find someone to put you on to something, the word of mouth is always going to be there. But yeah, the live show, man, it just translates.
You've done a lot of live shows. I mean, you've done, again, like we were talking about the Future Sounds at Legacy and the Dove Awards pre-event. You've done South by Southwest events. Yeah, tours. Derek did tours. Yeah. You've done tours and whatnot. For that artist who is earlier in their career, what's the right course to take? I know that's a very broad question, but what's the right course?
Start in your city. Yeah. Yeah. So, everything you're doing is creating value, right? So if Mish and I were talking about this the other day, like if you build, and he's doing this, but if you build a local following and start plugging in around the area, then you can throw a show there. You become valuable to anybody coming through the market. Yeah. Even mainstream. Anybody. Oh,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so if KB comes through with his tour, it's easier for you.
What about if LaRussell comes through?
Yeah. Who?
LaRussell. What if he comes through?
LaRussell,
and he hears about you? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like he might hit you up to see if you want to be part of the show, like because you'll bring people to the show and help fill the room up. Yeah. And so that's a very, very important thing. And unfortunately, we've had those issues in Christian rap where cats haven't really, they've dug into their church, right? But not like the outer community. There's some guys that do for sure, like they definitely are plugged in, and but that's an important thing, man. To be able to have someone hit you and say, "Where could I do a show?" Right, man. You want to jump on it, that's when you're getting started. If you have that kind of pull, like in Nashville, Two Library, bro, they love him. Gotcha, love him out there, like. He is the man.
How often does he perform out there in his local area, would you say?
I think this year at least 3-4 times. Okay. But the last one he had the mayor there. Gotcha. He spoke, like, it's crazy, man. Like he's really plugged in to his community, and they love him. I mean,
because it feels different from it feels to me like rock bands and other bands can do a show almost every weekend because they're doing covers along with some of their songs. And so it's a different variety of musical spectrum, right? I feel like with rap artists, it's harder to do, but so many in your local area so frequently.
Definitely hard to cover music for sure. Yeah. It is tougher, man. It's a different crowd, different mind state. Rock music, you can play the hits. You know what I mean? Yep. Go back to the 80s.
Yeah. We got a question. Yeah. Doc, are you and/or your org associated with programs that train or mentor new and upcoming artists?
So we don't have an official thing like that. We've thought about doing a conference, an amplified conference.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we kind of started building the idea this year. Yeah.
You think it's a 25 thing?
26 probably.
26.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still got to do a couple more things before we do that. But okay. But Amplified kind of is that. Right. We do teach a lot there, like just showing artists different things and helping them understand like how to get to their money and what publishing is and sound exchange and all that kind of stuff. The heart is to help educate, to empower,
Right.
so that you are stronger and understand what your worth is, right? We don't have any master classes yet or anything like that, but we definitely are working on some ideas. Derek's got he's got a couple of things that he's doing. They got a Discord, the Vigilante Discord, where they do a lot of talking about that stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then he has what do you call it? The Patreon.
Yeah.
So Derek actually does have something like that.
Derek's another unique one, though. To me, Derek's unique in a number of ways, right? One, he's one of the, I guess he's generation in the generation 2, generation 3. Like when I think generations at CHH, I think, Jim 1, I think, of course, Mike P, Stephen Wiley, PID, Soup the Chemist, Warriors for Christ. And then kind of Gen 2 to me is like cross movement and that. And so towards
I
the
would
end,
say maybe it's
he's early Gen 3, right?
Yeah.
Like Lecrae, Derek, etc. Right?
He would be right in the middle of that.
Right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So still from that era though, Lecrae, Tadashi, Tripp, Derek, etc. Not all of them are still standing. There's a lot of other names I would start to roll off that people wouldn't know who they were.
Man, we've seen a lot of people go.
A lot of names, right? And so
come and go.
Come and go. And to me, Derek is, I don't want to liken him to LL Cool J per se, but his ability to kind of move in different spaces, right? Whether it's the, ownership is the new black and talking about things like that, whether it's the, hey, I'm going to be transparent and tell you it's not all good out here and let's be grown up about this thing.
Yeah.
Like Derek, to me, inserts grown up conversation sometimes when people don't want to have the grown up conversation.
Yeah, he has and also just so y'all know, he's part owner of the label. Right? We're co-owners, and he has a lot of say so in everything we do. So a lot of the direction, concepts, ideas, he's all involved in it. But yeah, he has a unique way of explaining things, and he gets upset, and everything. I mean, but he's just very careful about how he approaches social media. Getting angry and going on social media isn't always the best way to go about things. So yeah, he has been a voice of reason in some of the harder times. Yeah, and that doesn't come easy because he definitely feels the weight of those things.
Got another question for us. So the first question was, just want to tell people too, so acknowledging them, V Matrix 21 with the training mentor question. This is from 10-9 Media. With the rise in Christian independent artists and fighting algorithms, is it possible to see independents end up on mainstream radio without going viral or having a major label backing?
Yeah, you can always get radio. What people don't realize is, and I say this because we didn't realize it, is you can always spend the money, right? Labels just have money and relationships, and that's, we have that. Like, and you can get what you want out of all those things, but you got to be in a deal that allows it, right? So if you come in and you're like, I'm gonna do everything, I just want you to help me get my record up, pitch it, blah 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 blah. That's not a deal where you'll get PR and radio on a high level, like So to get like nationwide radio, the last time I checked, was at least $30K, and it might be more because that $30K pays the guy to go work it, and then he might have to put some money up to get you on the bigger stations, because they definitely do that, right? Yeah. If it's a regional, it's like $10K. So, but here's the thing though, and I literally went to Nima about this at Empire. We had a long convo about radio because we were thinking about it, and he said, "Man, to be honest with you, radio is really just a perception thing, a vanity thing." He said, by the time you get there, the song should be out of here. So that's really like, this song went, so now we'll play it. Because you didn't hear Shabuzi on the radio until you saw him go viral, right? There was a reason to go to radio. Right. So radio doesn't really actually work the other way. It used to be, put it on radio, it's going to sell records. Right. But with streaming, they don't always correlate.
That's, to me, it feels different. And, and even as a radio guy.
That's not where you want your money spent.
One, we, listen, to be clear, we don't charge to be on radio.
No, I don't mean you.
Yeah.
I mean like doing like a nationwide thing.
No, exactly, nationwide thing. We don't charge to be on radio, but we reach several million listeners, right? And so we not only don't charge to be on radio, we take records directly from artists, right? We don't make you necessarily come through a promoter. Now, I know for some promoters that bothers them because maybe we're messing up their business a little bit. However, part of how we think about it is, look, man, we want to make sure we can democratize this as much as possible, right? Now, that does put an extra strain on us, by the way, because sometimes one of the things promoters do very well is do pre-filtering of the content. So that's another thing to promote. So if you ever want to understand, well, why do promoters charge so much? Just think of how many releases come out every Friday. And so people are pitching things to them to carry, and they're filtering through it. And they've also built a trust relationship with the radio programmers that they know when Josh brings this, he's already filtered through it, right, to make sure it's worth his time. So that's why promoters do what they do. But the other thing I would say is, to your point, I think, eras ago, a lot of record sales were driven top down. And now the game's changed. Yeah. So much is bottoms up. So much is in the hand of the artist. Yeah.
A lot of the things you see happening are vanity. Yeah. Vanity things that you do when it
feels good.
Yeah. Well, you got to do those things as part of your, if you have when you're first starting out in music, it's not really like PR. It shouldn't be something you worry about. Radio, don't worry about that. Instead worry about brand building and your message and your fans. Yeah. What I can tell when someone is just doing the fluff thing, when they're going out and getting all the other things, because I don't see any emotion. Right? Yeah. The thing that labels look for is motion. They're looking for fan interaction, how your music performs with that. Right. Does it correlate with your posts? They look at all that stuff. They pull all that stuff up on chart metrics and start looking at everything. Yeah. Just like that. Your monthly listeners will get someone to raise their eyebrows to go do the research. Yep. And then they go dig into how you getting those numbers and what you're doing to push those numbers. And, they can tell when you're being floated by somebody else. I mean, you can fool the fans, but you can't fool the industry.
Can't fool the industry. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. What, when you look back at 2024, what to you are some of the highlights and biggest learnings for you?
Oh, man. Mastering Sound Exchange was a big one this year.
It's an inside joke.
Yeah. But it was a lot to master, to just get that fully understood. A lot of mysteries in there. Oh man, I think Derek and I really just took a really deep dive into how we're built and structured. Yeah. We're looking at bringing RMG back to the, back up and really build it. I mean, Cannon and Derek are there still. Yeah. Obviously, and they got a record that's coming out next year. Byron just dropped. He's still there. We're building an R&B label, so he's going to be sliding over to that. But
you're building an R&B label?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You say that.
Wow. Look at that.
Whoops, a little too early on that one. Okay. But, yeah, we've been working on it for about a year, but just trying to figure out what direction we would go with it. Yeah. Because R&B is, can be pretty wild nowadays. Yeah. So it's like, who will we want to do that? Yeah. And I took a shot at a couple artists I missed. That's all right though. We'll keep looking. But the ones I took a shot on, they know who they are and they're amazing. Yeah. And I'm really happy for them. And I think they're just bringing something very
Christian
different.
R&B or all R&B?
Christian R&B. Yeah, but I think for
nice
me,
growing space.
Yeah, I think for me, I would want to approach it from an R&B perspective. Mm-hmm. Just because I've been doing work in R&B. And I see how it functions and what they are looking for and who's curating it. Okay. And the Christian side would need to be built out by Christians. Okay. In my opinion. You would have to, there's some crossover. I know that there's a couple that have done a good job at starting to build that together. But we would need, and it seems like it's happening, but we would need Christian support to really dive in on it. Got it. Does that make sense? Like, it does. It can't be like it was for hip hop.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Hey, y'all, I'm going to apologize. I had to order lunch for Doc, and I think it's at the door. So let me just tell our team that the DoorDash guy's there.
This is live.
This is live. This is really live. So you can see how things happen. How
about a big bowl of applesauce?
You're right. No, I'm kidding. What was your biggest learning in 2024?
Man, I think watching some artists move to the next level. Yeah. And how that felt to be part of the step process for that. Yeah. So the thing about being a label, whether it's Amplify or not, is it's never fun to see anybody leave, right? Like that's not what you want. You want to find ways to keep people. Yeah. But you're not going to be a part of someone's journey forever. Yeah. So it's always hard to see artists you really work with move on. Yep. But man, I'm happy for them. They're doing really good. But the learning experience there was just like, how do you deal with the outs when they go out? How do you deal with that? Yep. How do you do it? Because our space is so used to when someone leaves, it's a problem. Yeah. That's always the
Oh, the perception is something bad must have happened.
Yeah, I've been asked 1,000 times when artists roll.
Well, we
out.
had a lot of challenges over the years.
We have, yeah. And people will leave and make statements, and they're always negative, and it turns into a big moment. But man, I think what's happening, and what I told Derek is Amplify is doing what it was meant to do.
Right.
It was meant to be a space to create and build and help empower artists to move to the next step.
That's good.
And or be the final step, depending on the artist and what they're trying to accomplish.
Right.
And I think we're doing that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too, though, is if those things were to happen, I mean, we can still be Christian, treat each other the right way, but we can still have business disagreements, or say this no longer is mutually beneficial, and in some cases there's just changes like change life
John
changes.
went to Aliens Alive. That was the move that he felt made sense.
Yeah.
He had reasons, and I know the reasons.
Yeah,
and they're good reasons. Like
right.
He's trying to grow his situation.
New season.
Yeah, and man, that just looks different to different people.
Yeah.
Tommy Royal is moving into a situation. His label finished his last album, decided to move to Sync Kardec, and he needs to be in a situation like that.
Yeah.
So there's some situations we can handle everything.
Yeah.
And there's some that maybe we're not exactly built for what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the artist, what they're doing, the relationships they have. But all I care about is if they're progressing and going forward, I'm excited for them.
That's good.
And to be honest, we've even helped, at times with them understanding their deals and opportunities and stuff.
Yeah, that's good. Speaking of moving forward, let's play a song from this young man, because I know you guys have been a part of his run, and he's doing some explosive work right now. Tory Deshawn.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hit that Tory Deshawn, ooh, wee, if we can.
Shouts out to Tory and Kamani.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? We're back. It's Trig right here, Holy Coach Radio, of course, with the doc. The doc is in the doc. Remember that? The doc. Mind blowing. Yo, that was one of the doc. Sorry, yes. I still remember some secular songs, if that offends anybody. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry for real, because I love that song.
Yeah, that's the DOC.
The
DOC. The
Listen, once again, I'm dating myself, but that was a classic when it dropped.
That was a Mind Blowing, and what's the other one?
The Formula.
Whirlwind? The Formula.
Yeah.
And Whirlwind.
Yeah, Whirlwind.
Whirlwind. Yeah.
Yeah. That one was hard.
That was hard.
The very first song that came on.
Yeah.
And then it was like the last NWA song ever.
Yeah, the doc. I mean, and just Dre just has such a track record of killing songs. I mean, he's just anyway. All right, so Jay asked, can you guys talk about the importance of setting goals long term and building out your strategy as an artist?
Man, that's the question every artist should ask when they sign it. Like when you, so Trig and I were talking in the car. Derek brought this up one day too, man, because he goes on these retreats and gets around a bunch of people. It's really dope. And the question that business owners should be able to answer is, what would you do if you got this amount of money? Right? What would your plan be? How would you expand? And I think as an artist, that's the question. That's the same question,
right?
Is what are your goals? What are you trying to do?
Right.
You know, and really the importance of that is heavy.
Yeah.
Because that's where you start making decisions about genre direction,
right?
Who you want to reach, and what it comes down to is who is your fan? Who do you want your fans to be?
Right.
You know, and what walk of life are they in? Right. I had a guy tell me the other day that he said he was doing street ministry. And he said it got so dangerous, he stopped. He said the guys he was out there with were like, yo, we out here. If we get shot, we get shot. And he was like, not me.
Not me.
Right? So, like, but they're dedicated.
Right.
They said they're going to go. Right. And he wasn't all in. He's like, nah.
Yeah, not my space.
So what I'm saying is there was a decision made there about longevity. And I think what you got to look at is who do you want to perform for 5-10 years from now?
Right.
Where do you see where do you see yourself? And then the other question is, if you could go on tour with someone, who would you go on tour with? And then ask yourself if the fans you want and the tour that you're talking about match.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
You know,
who do you want to be playing for in 5 to 10 years? That's such a good question.
Right.
To add that to our battery of questions.
That's the Christian rap kryptonite.
Yeah.
Because we're so dependent.
The Christian rap kryptonite.
Bro. But I'm saying, like, because what happens is what I've seen happen is the artists break.
Right.
They're young, right? They come in, they break, they're young, or they got a young look. So the kids like them.
Right.
And the churches go, oh, you know, we need that here. We need someone to get in front of these kids to show it's cool in church. Right. So they go, here, we'll give you $5,000. Never heard of you, but here you go. Right. They're giving you an appearance fee is what that is. Right. And so what happens is guys go get that. They get used to that really passive church money. But the whole time you're not building a ticket value for yourself. When you go online and you go like on Ticketmaster and all that, you're looking for ticket sales. Right. And if you don't have that history, then some venues won't let you go use their venues, and you know some people won't put you on tour because there's no history with you. Right. You know the Eventbrite tickets don't really count. Yeah. So it's well, they might now. I might be a little old with that, but all I'm saying is that's the thing is you want to make sure that you're thinking about where you want to be. Do you want to be 35 rapping for 10-year-olds? Right. You want to do that? No? Yes? If you do, cool. Right. Dig in. If you don't, then you got to start thinking about, well, what happens, you know, beyond the high school, you know?
You know, what's so interesting about what you're saying is, wow, well, no, I'm not conflicted. I just made a parallel to like books and speakers. Yeah. There's a lot of parallels between artists and authors. So a lot of authors, right, a book is almost like the formal business card to get into a good speaking circuit, right? Because good speakers, depending on who you are, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for a keynote, right? And not to mention doing courses, doing seminars as a part of an overall conference, whatnot. But the book is the thing that kind of formally introduces you to those booking people, right? And gets you out there. Like everybody can say, I can do a speech. It's like, yeah, we're going to sliver down to those who actually have a book, right? Right. To artists, it's the same thing. No songs, hard to get events, right? Yeah. But both of them can go B2B. In other words, you could do B2C and get your book sold to a lot of people. Artists, you get a lot of streams, but also B2B to get booked. Churches filling up the seats for you. Same thing with conference bookers, right? Yeah. The difference is with the conference bookers, you can do that over and over again for a long time. There's cats have books. My book was 10 years ago. Yeah. I still every now and then get booked to speak, do an event, right? Wow. What you're talking about though is it's not the same longevity because that audience migrates, and the people who brought you in to see that audience no longer has, I don't even want to say control, influence over that audience to bring them to you.
Yeah, you got to think, and we were talking about this earlier, but you got to think about this. One of the things that I think hurts us and helps us, but it hurts and helps, is the initial connection between you and the fans is the fact that you're Christian.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a Christian rapper. You wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case, right? Someone vetted you, put you, or you did it yourself, but whatever it is, that's the connection at this point. Now, depending on how that happened, a lot of artists never go beyond that. I've just watched it over and over again. I'm not naming names or anything. It's not that serious, but just there's an evolution issue there where like you have to go deeper with people. Yeah. And you got to give more. For people, like if you want to compare it to church, community groups is what I'm talking about, right? Yep. Like everyone goes Sunday is kind of the broad word, everyone's hearing it, and then the real connections are made when you're in community group on Wednesday, Thursdays, or whatever night. And it's the same thing with you going live. Like I know it's kind of weird talking to a phone, not people, but at the end of the day, those moments are pop-ups. Yes. And I realize it's risky because people might not go. Yeah. And it hurts the ego a little bit. If you say, hey, popping up at, in Austin, Texas today, I'll be at this spot, come join me. Let's have, or create like a small Eventbrite and let some people come. But those moments are so impactful, and people just need to hear more about our artists and what makes them tick. And I think sometimes they're afraid to be honest. Yeah. Because of the kind of stuff they're going to talk about. I think sometimes they're afraid what that looks like from, well, if I'm this, I can't do the show because I'm too adult for this, and I think if you just double down and make it about, this is my brand, this is my story, and this is how I encountered Jesus, and this is what it's done from that point on. Yeah. You have a lot of meat in there that a lot of people are going to appreciate. And I feel like with the way this world's going, that more and more people are going to understand the need for the hard truth. Yeah. Because we need more hard truth.
It's interesting. And maybe some artists are doing this, knowing you've probably already strategically done this. But one of the things authors do though, is they're super conscious about getting those people to lock in with them after that conference and after that keynote. Yes. So when they're doing that keynote, they've had the conference booking person agree to things like, I need something under the seat of every person that at some point during my keynote, I'm asking them to reach under the seat because there's a prize for someone. But for those who don't get the prize, they got something with my QR code. Yeah. I'm asking them to scan it so I get all their info, right? Because I want to make that connection with them after this conference.
You could do crazy stuff with the technology you have now. You can put a QR code behind you. Yep. That QR code will go to your link, whatever you're using to connect people. Your link should have a way for people to find your website, email booking, and your music currently. I know it's tough because now there's so many places you can send people. People are using different ones. But my experience has been direct. Try to get them as direct as possible. Yeah. Because you lose a certain amount of people each time.
Each time you make them go somewhere,
You lose like half, they say. Yeah. And I that's true. I've gotten close to buying stuff a couple of times. Been like another
funnel.
Yeah, and I just
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are using things like whatever, feature.fm or things like that where you get to grab them and keep them. So do you think artists can do a similar thing as the author, so to speak, in terms of
I think so.
Use the B2B opportunity, but make the connection and try to keep the connection?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they do. I wish I would have caught one of Dylan's shows. I would love to see how he set up, but because I know he knows. Yeah. But yeah, at your shows, man, especially if you're an opener, if you're going in being the open guy, the lights up guy, man, you better have something out on the table. People can give you their emails, add it to the email list, or people can like sign up for it on the iPad. Like, man, that is a time to really capture people,
capture the audience,
and you're in their city, and you may never get a chance to see them again. Yeah, there's been times we weren't ready for that when we were starting out. It used to frustrate me because I'm like, God, man, there's so many. But I hate it because artists listen to this and they probably go, my God, there's so many things to do. Yeah. And there is.
That's good.
Just to be honest.
So V Matrix 21 is back with another question. Are there any plans to do collabs with mainstream Christian, no rap artists in 2025? So mainstream Christian artists, non-rap. Any plans?
Yeah, we had some plans for a couple. Okay. I don't know if it's going to be next year. It might be. But we still have a record to drop that's done. That we really need to put out. but we just wanted to wait until next year because we wanted to give it a little more time and finish up a couple more things and not rush it out at the end of the year. I know a lot of cats like dropping albums, but man, I really want everything we drop to really resonate with people. If my hands are on it that much, you know?
Yeah.
And I speak for probably all the artists we work with when it comes to that. But, you know, but yeah, I mean, I can't say what it is, but we got a couple.
I got you.
Working on.
I got you. All right. 10-9 Media with RMG and then RMG Amplify. There's been a noticeable approach to being personable with a consumer across social media. Is it done an effort to develop a core fan base for each artist?
Yeah, so we I always try to make things personal with our fans, like where we can at least have an engaging combo and check DMs and try to. I say this and I don't check my own DMs. I don't run our socials though, but you know, we want to have a connection with our fans. We want our fans to come in. I mean, I didn't like calling them fans. I like calling them supporters. We nicknamed them family back in the day, but we just like having that interaction. So we have the Discord where they can come and build, whether you're an artist or not. There's like now that Discord. I mean, Derek built it with Canon, and that's got a life of its own now. It's its own diaspora. But it was funny because you know about this because Holy Culture is the forum, you know. But yeah, I mean, you just want to you want to create a place for your fans, though.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. What back to the audience piece. When you talk to artists at whatever regularity you do about, you know, progress. How are we doing, Doc? We dropped the songs. You know, I'm 6 months into this deal with you. How we doing? I think we're underperforming, but I need to know. What metrics do you ground them with? What do you focus on?
So luckily, that's almost never happened.
Really?
Yeah. We've only a couple of times where we had an artist upset because they weren't getting looks. Or
well, even if they're happy, what metrics do you ground them with? Because sometimes being upset or the happiness can be based on the latest social media response to stuff, right?
So the socials don't fall on us.
Right.
Not on the Amplify side.
Okay.
But we do help with ideation. But on the music side, it's simple because you have full access to all your info. Yeah. And all we got to do is just pull up how you performed.
Chart metrics data, Spotify followers.
And you'll always see
listeners.
It go like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Up and to the right.
Yeah. And I mean, and then also, you know, they're making more money, you know, because we're finding other money for them. Right. So they see the money coming in. They see it functioning. They get their questions answered. We try to stay on top of all of it. Right. You know, every once in a while we get a little slowed down if there's an issue with the release. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's really what we do is just kind of look at. Yeah. Usually at the end of the year we start having wrap ups, and artists want to sit down and plan for the next year. So we'll look at how this year performed. Yeah. And what we could do better and what's working. Gotcha. And you know, and man, there's always something to improve on.
Now, y'all notice in there, he said real quick, and we find other money for them, right? So so I'm going to just tell you, we recorded another video that we'll publish soon about publishing. Yeah. You're going to want to check that out, okay? Yeah. You're going to want to check that out.
We got to get Lynn on one, though, because...
Yes. Well, we had her on.
We did. Yeah. On like a little...
We need to bring her back, though.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's therapy.
Yeah.
When she talks about it. Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it feels painful when she's talking about it.
That's what I mean. It's she's getting your pain out.
She's getting your pain out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the therapist in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels like she's just bringing up all these. She affirms so many concerns.
She does.
And then she's so good and immersed in it that she talks through these details like that. I mean,
no, and she cares about all her people.
Yes.
So she'll fight for your money and she's done some pretty dope stuff, man. Yeah. Like we've been there, you know. Ben at Reach put me in touch with Lynn, and that was one of the things that I really liked about what we do with Reach is I got to figure out how to pay royalties because I was sweating about royalties.
I hear you
because we had Redemption, which did really well, and I didn't know how to do that. I was trying to build spreadsheets. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do this. This is impossible. Yeah. So I went to Ben. I'm like, man, how do you pay royalties? And he's like, here's music services. And so then I went to Lynn and met her, and at the time she was one of the staff, and now she's the
CEO,
president. Or
it's president. Yeah. So Lynn, shout out to Lynn Lowe at Music Services.
She's amazing.
We think highly of you. Okay, so let's turn the corner, and if you had to be a futurist for a moment, what do you think 2025 looks like?
I feel this was a great year. For our culture. I won't say for all rap. I don't think it was a great year for all rap.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think it was great for Kendrick.
Yeah.
But still, we didn't get an album, right? Derek predicts he's gonna drop around the Super Bowl. I think he's right. But
that will make sense.
yeah, I thought he would do it in October.
That will make
Drake,
sense.
But
yeah.
But no, I think where it's going, man. I think we're seeing more collabs. I think that's gonna ignite more collabs, and I like those. I think they'll come and go, but I like them because they create excitement for the culture.
Yeah.
And it creates new avenues for things. So I think guys are excited about that. We're seeing more money come into Christian rap for sure. You know, when labels start signing a lot of people, I always get a little nervous because not all those signings are going to work. And that can stunt growth at times.
Gotcha.
Because you get stuck in those deals and some of our stars start to, fizzle out. Because I'm a label, I know what labels are capable of.
Yeah.
And I just know when you're signing 10, 15 artists, I mean, man, they're just, they do that because they're just taking a shot at different people.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of hard to watch because it's like, man, some of those aren't going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think outside of that, I think we're going to see more shows. I think we're going to see, I don't know. I feel like we're going to have a really strong year. I think it's going to get big.
Yeah.
I think what the GMAs did is going to get bigger.
I agree.
Yeah, I think what Dylan did with Holy Smoke is going to get bigger.
More tours, probably.
Man, I don't know where that's going, but it's going somewhere. Whatever he's got planned. But I'll tell you this, like, they have been relentless. The amount of work that it takes to do what they've been doing is crazy. Yeah. I mean, crazy. And he's doing it. He's these guys that come out of MTSU, man, they're special.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing a great job. He's building something great. I would love to see that double for him. Like just all of a sudden it's in 2 times the size of the venue.
Yeah.
We're I'll say this though. We're at a moment that we were kind of at during the 116 era. I don't know which one was bigger, but all I know is we're kind of back at that point, and we have a chance to do it right this time. We really got to embrace what we are and love on ourselves, love our culture.
Yeah.
There's always this weird, like, almost I hate being a Christian rapper mentality, and all I'll say is anywhere you go, there's rules. If you're in country, there's people that don't want to be confined to country music. Right. It's everywhere you go. It's we deal with a lot more here for sure. Christian rap is a tough space to be in sometimes. But we should love ourselves, man. Like you're very special to be successful and live off music and Christian music. Yeah. That is you're a high level performer if you're doing that.
That's good.
You should be happy with that, proud of others around you if they can do it, and supportive and love that we can do it. Yeah. And I just want that to be the way we see ourselves. I just feel like there's always this weird darkness.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like,
I know what you mean.
Like, don't get too happy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, but yeah, we shouldn't feel that way.
That's good. That's good. What do you think? What do you think will drive independent artists in 25?
I think what's happening right now. Yeah. There's more labels involved, so that gets people excited. There's more shows starting to happen. What I like is there's more terrestrial, like, venue type shows. I don't know what I'm saying, just venues. Yeah. Right. Not nothing against church shows. Just saying, if this is going to grow, we have to move away from that. Right. Or we have to have other options. Like, we don't have to get out of the church. I'm not saying that. Yeah. And that's always a necessity and something we need to support. But I'm saying, like, not everyone can fit there forever, and not everyone's going to get those opportunities. Yeah. So if we start doing shows in venues, and just starting to build out what that looks like, we'll grow. Yeah. People will come.
That's good.
There's people just want to have a good time. But you got to think about this. If you want college to come, college don't want to hang out with high school kids most of the time, right? So then you got to create a space for college. If I'm out of college and I'm in a business, or I have a life with my family, I might want to go out with my wife. So there's that level of venueship, right?
Right.
Like, what does that look like? Right. When I go to R&B shows, that's what I see. I see a more mature, chill crowd. Right. And I'm hoping that Christian R&B can fill that void.
Christian rap should fill that void.
It could.
I mean, you know, it reminds me of back in the day gosh, I feel old, man. You know, when we went on the road or went to do a bunch of events in the region, I'm talking before I got, you know, saved and was doing rap stuff. It was, if you were going to go into North Jersey, you plotted out all the local college stations in that area and all the books, all the record stores, and you wanted to make sure you could do some in stores, right?
Yeah.
Up until the event. And you wanted to make sure weeks before you connected with local radio so you can come in town and do some interviews, and everything was getting people to that event that night, right? And if the radio, the thing about college radio is they can control their own what they're playing. And so you call the right DJ, he's like, oh yeah, I'm playing this anyway. I'll just play it more, help build up your event. Oh, send the flyers. You know what I mean? I'll help make sure I get them to the different bookstores. We'll put some in the polls or put some in the lunchrooms and whatnot. And so I think you could be taking that approach. I know college radio is not nearly as popular as it was before, but it's still there.
No, but that's how you look. How does Spotify become successful ultimately in America? Through colleges. They gave. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways, but the way I mostly know about and that I've heard about and seen myself is they literally were giving it away free in colleges. Yeah. And once I heard that and knew that was happening, I was like, it's not going to go away. Yeah. Because people are going to build their lives around this Spotify situation. Yep. And now they have their collection. They're not going to want to get rid of that. The more you make it to where someone can live in that moment, the less they're going to want to let it go. Yeah. So my thing is that's when we embraced it. So you have to embrace things and just accept, look, I got to get out with my music. Yeah. The end goal is always to perform. Yeah. Right? Unless you're a singer-songwriter or a sing person. Yeah. But if you're a performer, if you're a recording artist, your job is to go out and perform. Yeah. And the music is like the book.
Yeah, this is exactly it. It's just like the book. Yeah, just like the book. All right, y'all. Well, listen, it's always a pleasure to have my brother in the house, man. I'm so glad you came. Come, you know, we're right outside of Philly, so Doc came to hang with us for a minute. But
y'all got to see this place.
Thank you, brother.
This place is crazy.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, if you're in Philly or around, you need to come here. Yeah, it's dope here.
Thank you. Dope. Just make a reservation. Make it the right way. Make an appointment.
Just show up.
Just make an appointment the right way.
Just show up.
But no, we really want to have artists here, man. I think this could be a nice place again for artists to come tell their stories. You know what I mean, and share what's going on with them and hang out. You know what I mean. We need more community.
Yeah, this is a great content situation. I mean, obviously, from all of us to you, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I hear about it all the time. Just the fact that guys get paid and they're getting like, you know, they get to experience something that most artists don't get to experience. You know, and so having a channel that's supporting this is in this culture. And I think you guys also play some gospel too, right?
A little bit. Like more R&P. More the R&P side. So, you know, Kenneth Clark, you know, Jordan Armstrong.
Kenneth.
Kenneth, that's my brother. You know, Kenneth, Jordan Armstrong.
That's my guy. Yeah, Jordan's dope, man.
Don Reddy, of course. Young Chris.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot of good
Bree
ones.
Babineau.
Lee Vossi.
Adria.
I'm telling you now, man, she's a star.
She's a star. No doubt about it.
100%.
No doubt about it. Does not miss.
No.
Yeah.
No, she's just got the whole package. Like
definitely.
She writes her own music. And,
definitely.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah. I hope that she just goes crazy.
Yes, sir. You know? But until next time, y'all, you know, go to YouTube. Look on our YouTube channel, YouTube/Holy Culture, and the Inside View, and you'll see episodes that we done previously, as well as new episodes dropping soon. Blessings, y'all.
Have a good one.
Great.